Many different sports have a concept of a triple crown or a grand slam. What it's defined as differs from sport to sport, but what they all have in common is that achieving a triple crown or a grand slam is considered to be the pinnacle of the game. In some sports, the triple crown or grand slam has achieved a legendary status, and in others, the definition changes rather frequently. Learn more about triple crowns and grand slams and how they're achieved on this episode of Everything Everywhere Daily.
Hey, Kristen, how's it tracking?
With Carvana Value Tracker.
What else?
Oh, it's tracking. In fact, Value Surge Alert trucks up 2.5%. Vans down 1.7%.
Just as predicted.
Mm-hmm.
So, we gonna...
I don't know. Could sell, could hold.
The power to always know our car's worth.
Exhilarating, isn't it?
Tracking.
Always know your car's worth with Carvana Value Tracker.
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
This episode is going to be a bit of a potpourri episode, in that I'm going to be covering a bunch of different things from a bunch of different sports. The only thing that they have in common is that they use the phrases triple crown or grand slam. A triple crown, as the name would suggest, implies three of something. The first use of the phrase triple crown with respect to sports took place in the 19th century in British horse racing. It referred to any horse that won three prestigious races: the 2000 Guinea Stakes, the Epsom Derby, and the St. Leger Stakes. It was probably first used in 1853 when the horse Western Australia became the first to win all three races. The term was adopted in the United States in the early 20th century to describe a horse that won the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness Stakes, and the Belmont Stakes. Sir Barton, who won all three races in 1919, was retroactively considered the first U.S. Triple Crown winner. Winning either the British or American Triple Crowns in horse racing is extremely difficult. Since 1809, when all three races were first run, the British Triple Crown has only been won 15 times, with the last horse, Nijinsky, winning in 1970. The American Triple Crown has only been won 13 times, most recently by Justify in 2018. Baseball adopted the idea of a Triple Crown in the early 20th century. The Triple Crown in baseball refers to a batter who leads the league in batting average, home runs, and runs batted in a single season. It originated as a natural evolution of statistical recognition rather than as a formal award or title. The idea of a Triple Crown was informally understood in the early 20th century, but it wasn't widely named or officially tracked until later. Although the term wasn't used at the time, Paul Hines was the earliest retroactively recognized Triple Crown winner in 1878. The phrase began appearing more frequently in newspapers and baseball commentary in the 1930s, especially after the achievements of players like Jimmy Fox and Lou Gehrig. It gained even more traction after Ted Williams won two Triple Crowns in the 1940s. The feat is extremely rare. As of the recording of this podcast, it has only been accomplished 17 times in the modern era, with Miguel Cabrera's 2012 Triple Crown being the most recent. The idea of a pitching Triple Crown seems to have arisen organically in the 1930s and 40s as a mirror to the accomplishments of hitters. The pitching Triple Crown reflects the league leader in wins, strikeouts, and earned run average. There have been many more pitchers who have won the Triple Crown compared to hitters. Grover Cleveland Alexander, Walter Johnson, and Sandy Koufax have all won the pitching Triple Crown 3 times. The difficulty in achieving either of the Triple Crowns is combining everything in one season. Many players have led the league in all of these categories in separate seasons, but few have done it in a single season. Cycling is another sport that has a very difficult to achieve Triple Crown. In road cycling, the Triple Crown is winning the UCI Road World Championship, the Tour de France, and the Giro d'Italia in a single year. The UCI Championship is a one-day race, whereas the Tour de France and the Giro d'Italia are multi-week races. Only 3 men have won the Triple Crown in a single season: Eddie Merckx in 1974, Stephen Roche in 1987, and Tadej Pogačar in 2024. 3 additional men and 1 woman have won career Triple Crowns. In motorsports, there's also a Triple Crown. It reflects winning 3 of the oldest and most prestigious races in 3 different styles of racing: the Monaco Grand Prix, the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and the Indianapolis 500. And this does not have to be done in a single year. The only person to have achieved this was the British racing legend Graham Hill, who won the Indianapolis 500 in 1966, the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1972, and the Monaco Grand Prix in 1963, which he later won 4 more times. The phrase Grand Slam originated in the card game Contract Bridge, where it refers to a player who wins all 13 tricks in a hand, a rare and total victory. The term Grand Slam was referred to as winning everything. In the 1930s, the term began to be used in golf, tennis, and baseball. In each of these sports, it involves 4 things, and subsequently, the phrase Grand Slam has been associated with the number 4. In baseball, a Grand Slam is a home run with the bases loaded that scores 4 runs. It's uncommon, but not a totally rare occurrence in baseball. What makes it so rare is that there are few opportunities hitters have where they're at the plate with the bases loaded. The career leader in Grand Slams is Alex Rodriguez, who hit 25 career Grand Slams. The single season record is held by Don Mattingly, who hit 6 Grand Slams in 1987. Oddly enough, those are the only Grand Slams that Don Mattingly ever hit in his entire career. One of the most incredible Grand Slam records is held by Fernando Tatis. On April 23, 1999, the St. Louis Cardinals were playing the Los Angeles Dodgers. In the 3rd inning of the game, Tatis hit not 1, but 2 Grand Slams in a single inning. The odds of any player even seeing the bases loaded twice in a single inning is incredibly rare, let alone hitting 2 home runs when the opportunity arose. It's the only time it has ever happened in baseball history. There's also been what's called an ultimate Grand Slam. In this scenario, your team is down by exactly 3 runs, and you hit a walk-off Grand Slam at the bottom of the 9th inning to win the game. As of this recording, there have been 32 ultimate Grand Slams in Major League Baseball history. If there are 2 outs at the bottom of the 9th, it's considered to be an ultimate Grand Slam, and this has happened 13 times. However, there has only been 1 occurrence in all of baseball history of an ultimate Grand Slam, where the teams were down by 3 runs, with the bases loaded, with 2 outs, and the batter had a full count. Chris Hoiles of the Baltimore Orioles did this on May 17, 1996, against the Seattle Mariners. The phrase Grand Slam in tennis was first used in 1933 by New York Times columnist John Kieran, who likened Australian players Jack Crawford's pursuit of all 4 major titles in 1 year to a Grand Slam in bridge, winning all the tricks. The 4 majors were the Australian Open, the French Open, Wimbledon, and the US Open. The term caught on after Don Budge became the first to win all 4 majors in a calendar year in 1938, solidifying its place in tennis vocabulary. While the phrase was originally used to describe a player winning all 4 championships in a single year, the extreme difficulty of this accomplishment has led to its more frequent use in the context of a career Grand Slam. The single-year Grand Slam has been accomplished 6 times by 5 players. In men's tennis, there's the previously mentioned Don Budge, as well as Australian Rod Laver, who achieved a Grand Slam in both 1962 and 1969, the only player to do it twice. 3 different women have achieved it: American Maureen Conley in 1953, Australian Margaret Court in 1970, and German Steffi Graf in 1988. What's interesting about Steffi Graf's Grand Slam is that she also won an Olympic gold medal in 1988, achieving what some people have called a Golden Slam. Margaret Court also won a single-season Grand Slam twice in mixed doubles. While the single-season Grand Slam is quite an accomplishment, it really isn't that much more difficult than winning 4 consecutive majors outside of a calendar year. In 1982, the International Tennis Federation began to define the Grand Slam as simply holding all 4 major titles at the same time. This was first achieved by Martina Navratilova when she won the French Open in 1984. 2 other players, other than the ones previously mentioned, have achieved a non-calendar year Grand Slam. Serena Williams achieved it in 2003 with her victory in the Australian Open, and Novak Djokovic achieved it in 2016 with his win at the French Open. The career Grand Slam has been achieved by more people, but it's still extremely rare. 8 men and 10 women have won career Grand Slams. Of special note are Serena Williams and Novak Djokovic, who have won 3 career Grand Slams, winning each major at least 3 times, and Steffi Graf, who has won 4 career Grand Slams. In golf, the Grand Slam is similar to tennis in that it refers to winning 4 major championships. The term was initially applied to Bobby Jones, who in 1930 won the 4 major tournaments at the time: the U.S. Open, the U.S. Amateur, the British Open, and the British Amateur. He achieved it in a single season, and it was the first use of the term Grand Slam outside of the game of bridge. As golf became more professional, the U.S. and British amateurs were replaced by the PGA Championship and the Masters. Since the advent of the professional men's Grand Slam, no player has won all 4 tournaments in a single calendar year. The closest that anyone has come was Tiger Woods, who won all 4 tournaments consecutively in 2 calendar years when he won the 2001 Masters. There have been only 6 male golfers in history who have won a career Grand Slam: Gene Sarazen, Ben Hogan, Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, and just recently, Rory McIlroy. Both Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods have won a total of 3 career Grand Slams each. On the Senior Tour, there are 5 tournaments that make up the Grand Slam: the Senior PGA Championship, the Tradition, the Senior Players Championship, the U.S. Senior Open, and the Senior British Open. The only person to have won all 5 championships is the German Bernhard Langer. In women's golf, the tournaments that have been considered majors have changed over time. As of the recording of this episode, there are 5 major tournaments in women's golf: the Chevron Championship, the Women's PGA Championship, the U.S. Women's Open, the Evian Championship, and the Women's British Open. The 5th major was added in 2013. Prior to that, there were only 4 majors. Former major tournaments include the Du Maurier Classic, the Women's Western Open, and the Title Holders Championship. No one has ever won 4, let alone 5 majors in a single year or held them all at the same time. 6 women have achieved the career Grand Slam during the 4 major era: Pat Bradley, Julie Inkster, Annika Sorenstam, Louise Suggs, Kerry Webb, and Mickey Wright. South Korean champion Inbee Park achieved the only career Grand Slam in the 5 major era. These are not the only sports that have a Grand Slam. Curling, equestrian show jumping, darts, and even professional wrestling all have their own Grand Slams. And if you think of a Grand Slam as someone who achieves everything in a particular field, then you could sort of think of the members of the Completionist Club as winners of the Everything Everywhere Daily Grand Slam. Over the years, I've personally always enjoyed following great athletes as they try to achieve Grand Slam or Triple Crown accomplishments. Following the likes of Tiger Woods, Serena Williams, and whoever wins the Kentucky Derby every year is an opportunity to have a front row seat to sports history. The executive producer of Everything Everywhere Daily is Charles Daniel. The associate producers are Austin Oakton and Cameron Kiefer. I want to thank everyone who supports the show over on Patreon. Your support helps make this podcast possible. I'd also like to thank all the members of the Everything Everywhere community who are active on the Facebook group and the Discord server. If you'd like to join in the discussion, there are links to both in the show notes. And as always, if you leave a review or send me a boostagram, you too can have it read on the show.